Good morning. It is Wednesday, April 5th, and today is my first chemo treatment. So arrival time is 9:15 a.m. We'll see how it goes. Expectations are we get there and they're supposed to draw some blood out of the port, get those numbers, then I go talk to the doctor, and then I come back and then they give me some anti-nausea medicine along with something else through an IV, and then they wait 30 minutes and then I get the chemo fluid, and that's supposed to take like an hour and a half. And then they're supposed to put something else on me, some type of portable pack that then I don't know, goes like in a fanny pack type thing, something. And I bring that home with me for the next 2 days. Friday I go and have that removed. So those are expectations. We will see what reality is, and I'll let you know. So, see you later. Turned my light off, it's a little bit dark, but I thought I would show, have some breakfast. I have some Frosted Flakes, so I was supposed to eat before I go. I also packed some snacks, because the process is going to take probably 4 to 5 hours, maybe, at least 3, but I'm bringing the medicines with that they told me I should take so I can clarify when I'm supposed to take them. I have some fish crackers, and I have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and then I have a couple mints and some flavored mints, just in case if I get a goofy taste in my mouth I can have that. And then I'll take some water. They do have some snacks there. I know they have some like graham crackers, and they have orange juice, sometimes apple juice. They brought an apple juice when I was doing my iron injections, but so that's that part. And there's more. I also packed another bag, so I have my husband's book he's gonna read. I have a nice fluffy blanket because I saw somebody else had done that, and that's really neat that they had their own comfort from home instead of just like the hospital type blankets, clinic blankets. I have my ostomy on the go bag, so just in case anything would happen, I am prepared with my supplies. And then just an extra change of clothes, shirt and pants, in case I happen to need them. And a phone charger. And then my husband has the computers in his backpack. Alrighty, so it is still Wednesday, April 5th. It is now 7:30 p.m. So let's see, we got home about 2 o'clock today from my first chemo infusion, and so about 5.5 hours out. So far so good. So how the day went. We got there, and first they did the blood work. So they actually had to stick my port for the first time. It's still covered with the steri strips, and the phlebotomist said, yep, that's fine. They left them in. They didn't have to take them off or anything, so didn't know how that was going to go. She did mention that there would still be pain with poking the port, and I was kind of like, oh. Also being the first time, I was kind of tearing up a little bit. Told her too. It's like, it's my first time. Sorry. It's just, seeing how this all works. And she was like, yeah, no problem, no problem. I'll explain everything as I go along. Everything was very sterilized. They're very concerned about keeping all of this clean and sterilized so that there is no infection. So they have a whole kit that has everything in it that she undid. Even had a mask and all that, so she took her mask off, put the brand new mask on, put on some gloves, had the needles in there and stuff. So as I figured, the one part of the needle just is like a little port, or a little bit of tubing and all that they can then connect everything else to. So she said, so you feel a little stick. She cleaned it all up with some like alcohol, pressed on there a little bit, which was a tad painful, but not as painful as from like how much pain I had after coming home from surgery. But just a little sore, and then she's like, okay, 1, 2, 3, poke, and stuck it in there, and it was, for me, it was just a little poke, and not bad. It was okay. It was not painful enough to bring tears. I'm like, well, in reality, I'm like, you guys would poke me anyways if you're poking me in a vein. At least this way it's just poking there, and we're good to go. So I had to take my sweatshirt off. That was a little too tight, but I had a nice
t-shirt on under that was a little bit looser, that she said was good because she could put this big padding over. So kind of a big needle in there, and then the tubing goes down. Right now I have it going down under my shirt because they sent me home with a pack, and I didn't want to hit the tubing at all while I'm goofing around here in the house. So I kind of put it between my shirts. So in any case, that went really well, really nice. Everybody was really nice. The staff there is just so wonderful. I love that. And then I had to go sit out in the waiting room again for a little while, and then the nurse called me back and took my weight and height so we get a baseline for that. And after the blood work, I also had to do a urine sample, which I was like, oh, I wasn't prepared for that. Granted, I hadn't gone before leaving the house, so I provided a little bit. I was like, hopefully that's enough. And then I asked the nurse that, I'm like, do I need a urine sample every time I come in so I can be prepared? I can drink more before coming. And she was like, no, so let's see. And she's looking through my paperwork and she goes, oh, well, that was doing for a pregnancy test. Like, phew, I'm not pregnant. So anyways, then she's like, I don't think they have to do that every time. Ask the doctor. But took my height and weight. I'm at 130 pounds, so I was up 2 pounds from last week. So yay, I was happy about that. And that's with my shoes off. So I'd probably be at like 131 pounds compared to all the other weights. That went well. Got in the room, the nurse asked a few questions, took the temperature, blood pressure. I was happy blood pressure was down because, again, I was nervous going in, figuring I'm going to be in the 140s again or whatever, but I was at like 116, so I was good about that. She was really nice, and then we got to talk to the doctor for a little bit. He said the numbers all look good, everything was good. I asked him about the urine test, and he said he goes, yeah, medically they have to do that now, like insurance companies require that or whatever. They don't trust the doctors to just, say yes or no. It has to be medically proven. So I shouldn't have to do that. I think he said that was kind of bad. I wouldn't have to do that again. So he went over some things again and noticed my nails and said how pretty they were. I was like, well, thanks. And he's like, just so you know, the chemo may affect your nails. So he goes, you may not want to be painting them. I don't know. Somehow the nails are affected, which I did read in the paperwork, as far as whether they turn. I don't think they do more flaking or anything, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe keeping them painted will keep them healthier, as that's kind of my normal, regular, everyday life. The nails are very weak. I can bend them. They peel apart and all that, and so keeping them painted keeps them stronger. So we'll see. May go not painting my nails good for a while, but again, that's in the future. We'll figure that out. So today, that was okay. Explaining some of the drugs I mentioned with my ostomy bag. I'm like, how does that affect the output? Is it going to be more liquidy? Is it going to be thicker? Is it going to be more? So like, what kind of food should I concentrate on eating? Do I need to eat more, bananas or whatever that'll help thicken it up? And so again, everybody's different. Usually it'll make it a little bit more liquidy. So yes, concentrate more on the thickening type foods. And if there's any problem, you can get some Imodium. Why am I spacing on it? It's Imodium something. Or just Imodium. That will help thicken up the stool and help with that. They obviously give IV anti-nausea medicine, which I knew was going to happen. But if by chance I am nauseous afterwards, I do have two types of pills to take kind of for nausea. So because the pump is going for 2 days, in reality, the one pill I'm supposed to take 2 days after chemo, so I actually take those Saturday, Sunday, because the pump comes off on Friday. And the other ones are kind of like as a use anytime. So far today, I'm good. So happy about that. Other than that, I think he mentioned again about the cold. Again, coming up into summer, that's a good thing. One of the side effects is that coldness feels like burning cold. You go outside when you get, the cold wind, cold weather, you may find it hard to breathe. There could be that reaction, or touching things, getting things out of the refrigerator might feel way too cold to you. You might need to wear mittens, gloves, something or other, whatever. Even sometimes room temperature, like an aluminum can, might feel more cold to you. So I'm like, okay, just to be, cautious of that, have in the back of the mind in case it happens, oh yeah, that's something that was set. And then he mentioned I'm supposed to come back like in a week for blood work, which I was surprised about that. I didn't think they did blood work except for right before they give you the treatment to see where your numbers are at. So I do have that. So added that to the calendar now. Today's the chemo, my pump removal. I'm going for blood work on the Tuesday, because Wednesday I have that post-op visit, and then my next round of chemo should be on my birthday. Woo! It's okay. Life-saving stuff. My birthday, I get to live. I'll take it. So then he took us out to the infusion room where, basically there's like 3 different bays with about 6 different chairs in them each. Choose a chair, sat in one of them. I like to be near the nurse's desk so I can kind of see what's going on, because Wayne is all like, you want to go sit over there by the window? Because I'm thinking, well, I'm sitting down. All I'm going to be able to see is sky. I'm not going to see a heck of a lot. I'd rather be near the nurse's station. I can kind of see what's going on, and ask for help if I need it, especially being the first time. So sat there, the first nurse came by and said, she goes, oh, I'm glad you sat here near the nurse's station. It's your first time. It's like, so we can really keep an extra eye on you. So that was good. Yeah, again, so yeah, being watched over. I've got my stuff. She put in the anti-nausea medicine. That went fine. Waited a good, 20 minutes or so, and then started the chemo round. And while that was going in, at one point I had a little bit of like an acidic burp. I was drinking a little bit of apple juice while I was there, so kind of part of that, but part of it was like so acidic, and I started coughing. And Wayne was all like, "Are you okay?" Or whatever. And 2 nurses came, kind of rushing over, and they were like, "Are you okay?" Things like, and I'm good. I said I just had a little bit of a burp that was kind of burned, and she goes, "Oh, like one of those acidic burps that you would," and I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Okay, but your tongue's not swelling up. You can breathe. You can," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. I'm good now." But then I was afraid to burp afterwards, because a couple times I kind of felt it. I'm like, "Oh, can I burp?" And I did, and I was fine. So that was good. And then I also kind of figured, having all the fluid going through me, I have to go to the bathroom. And so I did. And so they unplugged the IV, and you get to carry push your little IV pole with you, and get to the bathroom. And went to the bathroom and came back, and you know how it goes when you're drinking a whole lot and you break that seal. Well, 15 minutes later, you gotta go to the bathroom again. So I did. Came back. Chemo finished. That took an hour and a half. And then they were going to push through the last medicine and IV, the Fluorosil, and then they were giving me the pump to come home with that has the Fluorosil in it. So while I was unconnected from everything, I went to the bathroom a 3rd time. Came back, and then they hooked up, like I said, they hooked up this other tubing on here. I think I'll put a picture on Facebook. I'll include some pictures in here, pictures that we took while we were there. But I have this bag. I can show you on there. Dun, dun, dun. Maybe. Okay. Show them tubing. So they sent me home with this little bag. It has a strap on it that you put around. It's really heavy. I've been wearing it around my waist as kind of like a fanny pack, but even still, it's like it tugs on my back. So I mean, sitting is okay. It's good that I can just kind of rest on there. But see, it has a Velcro pouch, so you can see the machine in there, which is upside down. But if I press the button, what's it gonna say? Continuous running. So I know it's running. If it beeps at me or does whatever and stuff, I can check on it and not undo it. So there is, there is some, tubing. Obviously it goes from here. There's more in here. I got it wrapped up so it can shorten it up a little bit. But then all it goes all the way up to the port. So, now, again, besides being so heavy, going to the bathroom was a little bit challenging with this on, because trying to get this out of the way. I'm like, we get this out of the way on the one side, I get my ostomy bag out of the way on the other side as I go to the bathroom and then try to wipe myself and whatever. So hubby was all like, we'll try to put this, maybe take it off and put it off to the side, or on the phone. I'm like, oh, that'll work. So the bathroom down here, the sink is right nearby, so I can put this on top of the sink. So I don't have to worry about that. I can do what I need to do, just emptying my bag, which works. They talk about some people like wear this as a shoulder bag, so you could wear it crossways, this way. But I can't because my port is right there, and I can't have this laying on the port because it's kind of, it sticks out. It's not flat against my chest. The needle's not like flat. There's a thing in there that sticks out. So I can't go that way, and I can't go this way because my ostomy bag is on this side. And I can't have that laying on there. So fanny pack wise it is, which is fine. And I figured that way too, I can sleep with it that way, have it wrapped around my stomach, so it's not going to go anywhere, it won't fall anywhere, it won't fall off the bed, it won't pull out my tubing. So that'll be alright. So that was it. When they hooked me up with this, they were kind of like, hey, you're good to go. You could. Also, very nice of that. If you have any questions whatsoever, like, don't hesitate to call ever. You can call our number. This pump has its own phone number 24/7. That if I have any questions, anything's going on, there's resources. There's people to call. While I was there, a nurse navigator came and visited, also introduced herself. I've talked to her on the phone before, so it was nice to meet her in person. And we talked a lot, and she also said again, any questions, you always call. We've got many resources here, a lot of different departments, dietitians, social workers, pain management, that just call. So that was very nice. Told her, yeah, it'd be kind of nice to talk to a dietitian again, so she did contact someone who actually called me and was getting something changed. I couldn't answer, but they're going to meet with me on Friday when I get this pack removed. So I can talk to her again and ask a few more questions now that I'm a little further healed with the ostomy surgery, and find out a few more things, what I can add to my diet and eat. So that was all well and good. While I sat there, I did get a little cold while the infusion was going, so I did put the nice blanket that I got from my coworkers on me. So I'll put that picture in there. Part of that being, it has some butterflies on there, and for me, it kind of hit me one day before, as I was thinking about going there, and I'd seen somebody else that brought their own blanket with, and it had some nice words on there of like love and hope and whatever, and I thought, oh, how nice is that? To bring, I think I mentioned that earlier, I was bringing my blanket, to bring a little comfort from home instead of just having their stuff. Now, I could have had a warm blanket there. At one point I thought about asking for it, but I'm like, I'll try my own blanket first and see if I need extra warmth or not. But I did pull out that blanket, and again, for me, it's kind of like, right now, in my point of life, this butterfly, it kind of symbolizes, what the caterpillar has to go get itself into a cocoon, and it kind of morphs itself into a mushy liquid before it turns into a butterfly. So I'm kind of thinking that this chemo fluid, all the fluids and medicines that I'm getting, are my little morphing fluids that are going to go through my body and morph me out, and at the end I'm going to come out a beautiful butterfly. So I like that. So anyways, yeah, that was very nice. It was very nice to have Wayne there. He could, didn't do too much, but it was nice to have the company. And he did enough. I was like, could I have my notebook? He handed me my notebook. I do whatever. Okay, here, you can put this back. Could I have some fish crackers? So he brought me, all my fish crackers, and I ate those. And I wanted my blanket. Okay, and he put the blanket on me. One of the computers. So he brought the computer out, and I forgot my earphones, but my earbuds. So I was on Twitter for a little bit and whatever. But the time actually went fairly quickly. In reality, let's see, we were there at 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30. Well, it was 4.5 hours. But there's enough going on, and starting and stopping medicines type things, and going to the bathroom, and so it didn't seem too bad. So now, after being home yeah, my expectations versus reality. Well, again, the one of the other things that the doctor mentioned was that with the chemo, that some your energy level is kind of like you're going to be okay, and then you take a dip, and then you kind of become okay again just about when you're ready for your next infusion. So I had seen some videos, or thinking as people usually when they get the chemo, they're pretty, again, if they get the Benadryl, they're tired and they're sleepy and kind of worn out for the first day or two into the third one. And then by 4, you're starting to feel better. 5, and then you're good for a week before you get your next infusion. So no, I'm not tired today. I'm doing pretty good. And tomorrow maybe I should be fine. And Friday-ish maybe, and then by Saturday, Sunday I might be tired. So again, we'll see. Everybody is different. We're going to see what my journey is going to take me on, how this is going to work for me. Pretty much the first trial, or the first dose of this, kind of gives you an idea of how it should go on for you. How the next ones will go. So we shall see. I know I wanted to keep my body kind of flushed and tried drinking fluids. And one of my friends had mentioned too, big thing, try to make sure you keep your fluid level up. So we'll see how that goes. When we first got home, because it was nice out, because I wasn't tired, I said, let's take a walk. Because that's the other thing, trying to keep the body moving. Even the doctor said too, even though you might be feeling a little fatigued or tired, try to keep moving. Because even though you really think you want to rest, that may sometimes make it worse and make you more tired. So try to get some activity in it, at least every day. The nurse navigator said too, well, yeah, just keep exercising. I'm thinking, I have an ostomy bag and I'm only a week out. And according to my ostomy instructions, I'm not supposed to be exercising. I can do little things like, lifting my legs from a seated position, lifting my arms to help strengthen the core strength. But as I said, there are moves that I'm not supposed to do also. So yeah, until I'm more healed. But I can walk. So Wayne and I nicely took a walk, walked around our complex as we do. It was super windy out there. So surprised, even though it was like 61 degrees, I know that's warm. I had to zip up, I had to put my hat on. We got about halfway around and my upper lip started getting cold. I'm like, okay, interesting, whatever. We got 3/4 of the way around. All of a sudden my nose started tingling really bad, both nostrils. And I'm like, oh boy. Then my nose started running and I'm like, okay, I don't have any tissue with me. I don't. So I got back home and it was like I was out in a cold wintry day where your face freezes. And I felt kind of numb, and even blowing my nose kind of hurt. And so it took about half an hour for that to kind of unfreeze. And I thought, oh, I need some water. So I grabbed my room temperature water and sitting there all morning. And I took a couple sips of it and it burned all the way down. I'm like, well, that's not good. How can I keep fluids in me if it's going to burn? And this is already room temperature. I was doing some, Advil. I'm like, we'll see how this goes. But I was able to get the Advil down. That was good. And then I waited a while, and then I took a couple more, like another sip, and it was kind of hurt. So I thought, well, let me try something with flavor. So I tried one of the chocolate milk. Wayne, we were looking for a certain kind of milk that may have more magnesium in it, but he found this other kind. It's the Carnation. Did I get that right? Dun dun dun. Carnation breakfast essentials. So this is cold, coming out of the fridge. Took a couple sips, and I was like, well, kind of cool. How about take it out of this, put it in a cup, and it'll warm it up faster, and we'll see. And if I took small sips, I was good. So if I'm taking really small sips, I can manage. I'm doing okay. But if I take a big gulp, it kind of burns like on either side of the tonsils, the top of the throat, going down. So things. But I don't know how long this is going to last. If it's going to be a thing long term, if it's just going to be short term for a couple days, and then again as the medicine starts either kind of doing its thing, working its way through, if I'll be better that way or not. Stomach, having a little, bit of a stomach ache, feeling full. I did get some, I believe, like sugar water type stuff with some of the medicine, because that's what works well with that, as opposed to just like the salt water IV or whatever. And so I think that kind of made me a little bit full while I was there too. And then of course after having that coughing thing, I'm like, well, the throat was kind of feeling still a little bit. I'm like, can I eat the fish crackers? They kind of have a taste to them while I do that, but I did. I got through the fish crackers. When I got home, I was still hungry. I ate my peanut butter sandwich. Since then, I've had my chocolate milk. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock usually. I'm kind of getting hungry again now for now, so I'll probably have some dinner. Macaroni and cheese, and a banana. That's the way it's going today. So I will check in if anything's going on or more interesting, tomorrow or the next day, or probably at least Friday, getting the pump removal. See how that goes. But yeah, not too bad so far. So thank you again for all your prayers and support. I really appreciate that. You guys keep it positive. Go make it a great day. Go Bob.